Alrighty. Hello, I am Japor, and this is my first episode of Rimworld. Hope you're all having a fantastic day, morning, evening, and hope this is the first of many episodes to come. So, the idea behind English. The idea behind this playthrough is I've been really getting into those Malice Darkblade novels, and I just love them. And I love that I've been getting into like that Warhammer. Warhammer 2 is one of my most played games. It's so much fun. And I thought Rimworld, that's a heavily modded game that you can make. So yeah, I thought I'd give a try of a dark elf kind of playthrough. So I'll go through all the characters in a second that I've kind of got. I also thought I would play with this mod a bit, this game, sorry, a bit, see if all the mods mesh, and as well as I tend to find when I watch YouTubers, the introduction, the beginning stages of the Let's Play, like there's a lot of hope in what they're going to do, but I find that it's a bit boring watching all that kind of maintenance and getting things up and started. I find that kind of boring. Unless you're a brand new player, um, it's not very exciting. And most people nowadays aren't who watch RimWorld. I find aren't brand new players. They kind of know their own mind and they know how to play the game. So hopefully this thematic playthrough is an interest of people. It's a medieval playthrough as well, so no technology above medieval. So that includes uh, guns and all that. There are simple firearms because I've got mods like Deathjacks and Empire mods. So um, there will be a few factions with some simple firearms like muskets and pistols, but that's fine. You know, it's all good. As well as that, there's also I've got a really cool mod. It's cannons, simply cannons, I think it is, and um, they've really upped their game lately. Like they've got it's like Rimworld CE. I never played with that mod myself, but I've heard very good things about it. I was tempted to play with that mod, but it is highly incompatible with a lot of things that I like. As well as I don't like. I'm a bit lazy in the fact that I don't really like the ammunition crafting. It just kind of turns me off the whole experience. So, but besides that, yeah, I find this really cool. The artillery can change the rounds, stuff like that. And that's fine because that's artillery. Like, you expect the kind of hard-hitting things to be limited in ammunition, and that's just like vanilla, just like the mortars are in vanilla. So that's that. So I've got a few mods. I'll go through the ones that I see right in front of me, and the major ones that I'm playing with. But I find the best experience as a viewer is I'll when I run into mods, I think it's more fun if I introduce them organically, so as they come up. Otherwise, I'll be here for the next 20 half an hour just explaining all the mods I've got going. So I'll go through the big ones that you can probably see. So I've got I think it's uh, gloomy furniture. So that's the beds, the fireplace, the tables and chairs, which are very important in RimWorld. You got to have those tables, um, and a bit of the doors as well. So that's very cool, and it adds to that medieval aesthetic. Oh, as well as the fences. The fences definitely part of the mod. Besides, that, I've got palisades. So that's just a simple. I think it's just a mod called Palisades on the mod workshop, and it's just not the most defensible wall, but it looks cool, and it will help um, you know in the defense, I suppose. Besides that, we've got dinosaurs. It might just be called dinosaurs, but mod that introduces dinosaurs because if any of you are familiar with the Dark Elves in Warhammer Fantasy, they ride cold ones, which are like dinosaurs, I guess. They're cold-blooded, they're reptiles. And these guys I found are the closest that I could find on the mod with them. And luckily enough for me, I didn't really, I'll go into that later, actually. But just so you know that these guys and the Dactyloraptors, um, I got them through an event in this playthrough currently. So I've got vanilla events expanded, and that introduces a whole lot more events. So one of them is battle animals, join, and I got that event twice, luckily for me. So there you
What else we've got? We've got Rimworld of Magic. So you can probably see these little symbols with Harkin at the top here. So the three little symbols. So he's a commander. That's his combat class. And so what he does is he gives buffs. So both passive to whilst they're working. So we've got Provisioner, Taskmaster, and Commander. As well as during combat, he has the Stay Alert, Move Out, and Hold the Line. They're all pretty self-explanatory. Hold the Line helps your pawns around the around Harkin to hold the line a bit more, be a bit tougher. They go down a lot longer. Well, it takes a while for them to go down. Move Out, they speed up, get to the next location. Stay Alert, their sight increases and things like that. Um, Provisioner is great at the moment. It's probably the best out of the three, to be honest, that I've found. Because it just has, as you can see, it reduces hunger of nearby pawns, improves rest, and the greatest thing is, that in my opinion, is the healing rates and the repair equipment, which is very cool. And it has no downsides, so why not? Taskmaster, it does have some downsides. It is cool, but it does have some downsides. So it increases work speed, eating speed, and carrying capacity, but it does cause pawns to be less social, which means they have a mood penalty, which I don't. This this isn't going to be the most. These guys aren't going to be the happiest because they'll be constantly dealing with prisoners, constantly harvesting organs probably, and doing all kind of depraved kind of things. So um, I'm probably not going to use Taskmaster a hell of a lot, but it does seem to be pretty useful. Maybe once I get to a certain point in the playthrough when where Harkin can just will have that kind of soothing effect where all the pawns in his location are kind of happy, then I'll use Taskmaster because it's worth using, but not at the moment, not so early on. And Commander, so Commander decreases their productivity, unfortunately, but it improves their mood. So it's kind of a counterbalance to Taskmaster, and it also breaks pawns out of mental states without the Charisma's bonus though. But at least they're not burning something down, which is nice. And yeah, so that he's Commander. I've never used Commander. I haven't used Rimworld of Magic since probably a year and a half. So it's very new to me. So, but I enjoy it. Win is a Wayfarer, so that's pretty much a jack of all trades kind of master of none. So they get access to all those kind of they can learn all those kind of not small, but um, less specialized skills. So it's such as she started with thick skin, which is decent, helps her survive melee a bit longer. Um, but yeah, hopefully we'll get some more skills for her later on. And then I've got Taff, who is a Blade Master. So Blade Master is probably one of my more favorite combat classes, just because of their phase strike. They can teleport through any kind of obstacle to get to their location and attack immediately. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, and so Taff's got a good melee. But also for me, Taff reminds me of if anyone's ever played Evil Genius, like that. I think he's Mumbai. I think the samurai guy's name is, and he can like phase strike through walls and buildings and stuff like that. It's kind of like that ability, so I really like it, especially when you get a few of them. It's like an attack squad, like a ninja squad. So very cool. Um, we've got Rimhammer as well going on, so there'll be a few events such as like Chaos Spawn and things like that. So with that mod, it also introduces the cooking. So one of the biggest challenges I find with medieval playthroughs is just getting your food. Having enough food to last for a bit without your cook constantly doing it, it does get repetitive and it takes a whole guy out. So especially when you start with a relatively small colony, it does take one whole guy out, which isn't ideal. But luckily I've got bulk cooking, so they'll cook in groups of four instead of one by one, so it goes a lot faster. As well as so the curing meat, so they'll butcher a bit of meat, put it in there. When it comes out, it's called cured meat. It lasts a bit longer. I think it's about 16 to 20 days. And then you can get these curing cabinets. And with these cabinets, you can then put that meat in there, and it lasts. And when that's finished, comes out. I think it's about 30 days, something like that. But it's a lot longer. It's a greater duration, which is what you need in a medieval playthrough for sure. Besides that, what else have we got here? Um, War horses. I don't think these guys are vanilla, but they might be. That might be one of those vanilla mods. that is confusing to say after a while. But yeah, one of those simple mods that just really add to the aesthetic of Rimworld. So I'll go through the characters. So we've got Hark in here, so he's going to be the leader. He's the idea behind him was the disgruntled noble who's had too many slights against him decided to strike off on his own with some retainers. Um, as you can see, I kind of made all of them, all the starting pawns, pretty not overpowered, but no real negative effects. Um, so Wim's kind of the same. Win, sorry, she's kind of the same. Unfortunately, they're both incapable of dumb labor, but that's fine. Um, Taff was supposed, so Win was just supposed to be like the adventurer who joined Harkin on his way to this new land and decided to go with this guy's aspiring star. So go with him. And then Taff is Harkin's bodyguard slash captain of the guard eventually. I hope her to become because she's just a melee powerhouse. She's a absolute tank. Uh, Ilana and Lurik, they were both kind of the peasants that just tagged along really. They are kind of overpowered, but not too much. They have leveled up a fair bit, but they have no negative real effects. And the great thing about you know Dark Elves, of course, is their economy. So very thematically, I've gone with the Simply Slaves mod, and that introduces slaves. If you guys aren't familiar with that, it's a very good mod. Check it out. But yeah, so Archibald, and I think I've got another one somewhere. He's not in lockdown. There he is. Game Pepper. So they're kind of being the halls at the moment. I've just kind of got them doing everything, as they should, because they're slaves. That's their mandate. So yeah, so this is actually the second settlement map. I did start here, but very early on, like literally as soon as I got these crops up and built these buildings, within I think it was like not even 4 days, I got a toxic fallout, and I don't know, I really should have disabled that event, but unfortunately I didn't, and I don't really want to fiddle too much with the game files, so we'll just deal with that. But what happened was Toxic Fallout, I didn't really, with this playthrough, I didn't want to have one big building that they all kind of suffered in. I wanted like a communal kind of medieval, each individual building is its own kind of fortress kind of thing, like very much like a Dark Elf city. So I didn't really like the idea of having to hulk down, hunker down and just, um, sit there for however long a Toxic Fallout lasts, which can be for quite a while. So I thought I'd, get out of there and escape, and I did. And yeah, I ended up here. So this is much more of a temporary base because I really liked this tile just because of like all the minerals around. Um, and they'll definitely be a boon. Especially, you can probably see on my map these different kind of tiles. So I've got a cool map called Fantasy Metals Reforged. I think it's an update of an old mod, but it's very cool. It adds all these like fantasy elements. So Gromrel, which is in Fantasy Warhammer, Jade's normal, sorry, Vibranium, which is I think that's from the MCU. I've also got some Adamantite, which is the strongest metal in the MCU, which is what Wolverine's made out of. And some lovely caravanners left us some mithril, so we can make some more. Make some more. We can make some chainmail armor, which should stop a few blows, I hope. But yeah, so that's very cool. It's very thematic for this fantasy playthrough as well. No power, of course, because fantasy. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much where we're all at. We did start with uh, two useless animals and a relatively useful animal. So we started with where is he? We started with Marty, who's an Arctic wolf. He's great. He's fully trained pretty much in hauling, which is nice. So he helps out. Um, and we also start with Lionheart and a raccoon. And the raccoon and Lionheart just they're not useful for anything really. He can guard and that's it. So and unfortunately they came bonded, which does suck. I didn't really look too hard into the scenario that I started, so it was a Dark Elf scenario that came with the Dark Elf mod. Um, so unfortunately that's just the way it is, but that's fun. Um, so when I last used this Dark Elf mod, I'll just play it as we go. Last time I played this Dark Elf mod, it was its own thing. The uh, the mod author, he had all his races separated into different mods. Now I found that they're all in the same mod, so that makes it so much easier, less strain on my load. But yeah, it's good. So now we have all the races. So that is, let's see if we get the world up. So that should be Dark Elves, Wood Elves. Might just be. I don't think it's High Elves, but it is some sort of other variation of elves. Moon Elves. We've got Dwarves from the Rimhammer mod. Um, we've got Skaven. We've got Beastmen. We've got Deathjacks, which are like human militia slash like forest kind of banditry kind of guys. I don't really know too much about Deathjacks. I think they are Warhammer, but I'm not too certain about that. We've got Ithiats, um, which are I haven't really delved too much into D&D, but I am looking forward to the new Baldur's Gate, so they're in there. I think we have Hobgoblins and oh maybe here we go, Sun Elves. I think it is. Yeah, might be Sun Elves. That makes sense. So yeah, so that's very cool, as well as the vanilla factions. I think we've got a few medieval vanilla factions from the vanilla medieval mod. Um, I've also got a mod that changes the royalty DLC faction, the Empire, the Broken Empire, I think it is, to medieval faction, and then the Rim Hammer mod also brings in a faction that you can trade with to get those sweet uh, spells and abilities from books and things. So that's very nice. Those are pretty much the major mods. I've also got a few trait mods. So I think one big one is depraved. So after a while, when your pawns become subjected to all these kind of organ harvesting, mood debuffs, and things like that, they start to become depraved, which is like it's a bit like if a pawn has psychopath as a trait. It makes them immune to that kind of thing, which I think is thematic for a Dark Elf, so that's good. Um, and also, what else? Oh, and the not all traits are useless. So we'll see on this guy, on this slave, that he is a slowpoke. No, that's not a good one. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, sickly. So sickly normally is a pretty bad trait to get. You don't normally want to start with sickly, because especially in the first early stages. But with this, it introduces him. He gives him 4 medical. So if he was caring, he would be a bit better at medicine. But unfortunately, he doesn't really benefit from that, unfortunately. But there are traits like that. So jealousy will give you a negotiation ability, and things like that. So that is nice, and it makes the game a bit more fun, because you don't really want pawns with negative traits, which have no benefits. So, whoops, Archibald's sleeping outside. Luckily, he's just a slave. So yeah, this is like the slaves' quarters. This will be the industry kind of room, so where people can make where the smith can smith and where the tailor can tailor. And I'm trying to clear this out just so we can have a bit more room for recreation, fun and games. This will be the throne room. Wynn and Harkin got married very early on, which is fine, That happens. They just can't help each other. So that happened. And so they share a bed. Harkin is the leader, so this is kind of like the ruler's kind of chamber, and this will be once I get carpet, that's what this kind of dirt area is for. It's the carpet area. And then this is the guards quarter. So I've also got another simple mod, which is no penalty for barracks, because I didn't really like that, especially with slaves. It adds a bit of stress to it. It's just you don't need it. So got that. So that's good. So I can have I'll have probably 2 or 3 guards in here to help guard Harkin and his wife, and all should be jelly. Yeah. So I haven't had too many attacks. I haven't lost any pawns, although, well, I did, but so the game still sends in random colonists of any race, and Koala unfortunately was a hobgoblin, so I didn't really want to keep him. I didn't think it made much sense having a hobgoblin part of the main posse. So Koala has been left to die and buried. I should probably do something else, but you get that negative debuff when they're not buried, and that message keeps popping up, which is annoying. So I buried him for now. I'll probably burn him later, or just leave him. Doesn't really matter. Ooh. At the moment we're neutral, just because I needed to get set up. Over time, though, I will start doing more reckless things. I'll start attacking random factions, especially when they come to trade. I'll just attack them, and that's just because Dark Elves are evil. But at the moment, I just wanted to be firmly established, semi-established at least, before I move out. And yeah, so there you go. Probably all up to speed now. Got a grizzly bear, 2 war horses, and a cow. I am trying to breed I'm gonna call, not these guys, where are they? These little guys. I'm gonna call, so, Dilophosaurus, I think they are. Dilophosaurus, yep. So I'm gonna call them cold ones just because they are the most like cold ones I could find. So if I refer to them as cold ones, you know who I'm talking about, these guys. Yeah. And see, so what do they have? 18 days, and they get cured again in the cabinet, and then that should make them last a bit longer, which is nice, which is what you want, for sure. Mine will saltpeter, so I've done a bit of research, and apparently that's for one of the mods that requires firearms, because saltpeter is part of black powder. So we'll probably won't dig too much of that stuff. I do have a lot just because it was in the way when I first started on this map, but it's not really useful for me. Yeah, sulfur. Oh well, it happens. Sorry guys, I'll be right back. Alrighty, and I'm back. So yeah, if you guys have any ideas about what you want me to, have any particular goals, at the moment I'm kind of thinking of world domination, but only problem with that is it is quite a big map. I mean, that's only 30%, might be 50%, but it is quite a big map and a lot of factions, so I might not get to that point. I don't expect this playthrough to be very long, maybe 20 episodes. But yeah, so if you guys have any like short kind of goals that I can accomplish that would make things interesting, I'm all ears. Definitely be fun to get some involvement from people other than myself, because it does tend to get... Ooh, I need some wood. It can get a bit monotonous for me, because I tend to do the same things. I'm not a very adventurous player. I tend to play the same way every time. Not the same way, but similar ways, regardless of the playthrough. So, yeah, a bit of input would not go astray. Yeah. We'll zoom this up, get it going a bit faster. Hopefully there'll be a raid soon. I haven't had one on this map for ages. Oh, we're playing with 2 kind of mods that limit the tech. We've got one that's just called medieval tech only, I think it is, or no firearms or something like that. And that just prevents other factions from having advanced weaponry. But besides that, we've got the vanilla extended medieval storyteller, and he's supposed to do that as well, but I've found just using him, there will be factions, especially modded factions, that will still use, semi-automatic guns and things like that, which would, put me at a huge disadvantage. So, got those 2 mods working in unison. They both do the same sort of thing, but I haven't had any issues since I've been using both, so maybe that's the way. And if you guys want to look at my my mod list, my mod settings, you can just ask, and I'll send you a Steam link to all those good mods. I haven't found any serious slowdowns or anything like that. Ooh, that's not good. Oh, he's not going to die, but that's nice. But yeah, another one, Magical Menagerie. So that adds the griffins. That adds the what else? the Quins, I think they're called. The other map has a few. Let's see. No, a few Griffins. Oh, we'll see some later. I think there might even be a few Hydras, something like that. But it's all like those kind of magical beasts, which is cool. Got dragons as well. So hopefully we'll be able to tame a few of them. That'd be very cool. Especially some black dragons or something like that. Very thematic to the dark elf list. Um, so that's probably a. Ooh, that doesn't really affect me too much. But that would be very cool. You know, making it as thematic as possible. That is the aim. So that'll probably be a goal, to tame a few dragons. And yeah. Another mod I should probably go into is Quarry, so that when I get a few more pawns, that will definitely be the place that they will go. Unfortunately, I would use the pawns that I have at the moment, such as Archibald and I was going to call him Game, but Pebra. We'll call him Pebra. Pebra, who is escaping. They do that time to time with the slave mod, but unfortunately both these slaves don't have very good mining, and it kind of wastes time with them in the quarry. They don't yield as much, and it wastes the amount that the quarry can produce. So I won't put them in there yet, or ever probably. So when I get a few pawns that can, I will. Eventually I'll try and get slaves to do most of the stuff, so like building, hauling and all that, and my warriors will focus more on raiding and combat and things like that, just because that's thematic, In the Mouse Darkblade novels, they're always talking about how dwarves are the main constructors, and how much the dwarf is worth, to the industry, to the economy, because they're such great stonemasons. So I'll definitely be raiding a few dwarves, and anyone really with some good mining potential and building potential. Yeah, so slaves, when they do have this this willpower, so that eventually goes down to 0, and when it's 0, it's broken. When it's broken, they will no longer try to escape. They're just like a normal colonist. So that's what you really want to try and get it down to. I have yet to find some ways in which another dynasty. Yeah, I have yet to find some ways in which you can shorten that, but it doesn't take too long. Maybe a few escapes, but not too many. But yeah, but once, like, Harkin has such good, I think it's based off your social skill and your combat skill, but I'm not too entirely sure about that. But he has a 100% chance to capture them, so that's great. So when he does that, they go into the prison, make sure you have a spare room for them, a spare bed, and they act like you would if you captured or like arrested a colonist. They would be in there for a bit of time out, and then they come back out and resume their duties. Yeah, so slave mod definitely worth using. It seems to be working with the 1.2 update. So does dinosaurs. So, pardon me. So yeah, definitely use them if you want. They're great. So with the Rimworld of Magic, your classes over time level up, especially if you have pretty strong or high level characters that can do combat training. It really increases the amount that they learn. Last time I played, I think I had 8 or 9 characters, and all of them had that little enhancer. So everyone leveled up super quick. They're all max level within moments. It's a shame. Oh well. Not a huge fan of these guys, to be honest. I got them in an event, I think I explained before, and they're feathery. Like, they don't really go with that Cold One aesthetic. So I'm not too cut up about that. But yeah, it does limit my mounting options, so unfortunately. But that's fine. That is fine. Luckily for me, both Harkin and Win are pretty good tamers. So if I ever need another animal, I've got the potential. But you don't want to get too many animals too quickly. They tend to soak up a lot of your resources and just stall your time. But we will eventually get some more. Soft bed for hay for animals to sleep on. Fit for any dragon egg. Ooh, that could be potential in the future. Very cool.
do I want? Good, good, good. Hmm. Yeah, as you can see, she's doing 40 at a time, so it makes life a bit easier. Makes her work a bit faster. Saves her being there all day. I wonder what's taking the builders so long though. Hmm. I swallowed my words. Never mind. So this is going to be a hospital. I thought that was kind of pivotal, um, especially with the sickness going around. It's near the front line or a front line, so yeah. And with all this kind of architecture, like the stops, like the what do you call it? Like the protruding walls. That's just it's good defense, but it's also like not that great defense if they get to a point where it's useless for me to defend that point. But it looks cool, and it's thematic to the Dark Elf description of buildings. Where every house is a fortress, capable of dealing death. So that is kind of what that's all about. And yeah, it just looks cool. I find it's a bit better than just having like a box. Um, yeah, personal opinion though. But yeah, that's it. So I might call it there. Just this is more of an introductory video, just explaining what I'm doing. I might not always record back to back. I might wait a few days or wait till something interesting happens. Slavery, where is he? So don't always assume I'm gonna you'll see everything. I might skip ahead and these palisades all of a sudden strong steel stone walls or something like that. So just don't be alarmed if that happens. I don't expect too many people to be watching this. This is only a first episode, so it's yeah not really on anyone's high list of priorities to watch. Hopefully it's enjoyable though. If you find I can improve in some areas, let me know. I do try and incorporate the things I like about YouTubers I watch. I know I don't do it nearly as well because I don't have nearly as much practice, but I hope to get to that point. But yeah, I hope this is not the worst experience you've ever experienced, and I hope you find it enjoyable. And let me know of areas I can improve on between now and my next episodes. Cheers, have a good day.